Howdy lads and ladies, so I'm coming back at you with another anime review. Why? I wrote this before I left for Japan, so hopefully I know what I'm talking about still, maybe. The World is Still Beautiful is a 2014 anime that follows the story of Princess Nike, the 4th princess of the Principality of Rain. The Principality of Rain is like a small, we'll call it a quaint little country where it rains all the time in this mythical universe. Now this lovely, adorable little country just happens to be where the Sun King on the opposite side of the world decides to find his bride. So naturally, out of the 4 sisters, the only fair way to decide who's gonna go and marry the Sun King is through Pom, which is rock, paper, scissors in English. So Nike obviously loses and goes to marry the Sun King in the Sun Kingdom, I think is what it's called. I can't remember. We're going with that. And when the princess finally gets there at the end of the 1st episode, she sees her king Livius on his throne in all his glory. Tiny 12-year-old glory. But you know, he's there, king-like, I guess. And the tale of their life together begins. Okay, so let's talk about my biggest issue with this anime, length. The anime only goes for like a measly 12 episodes, which is really fucking annoying, and I'm gonna tell you why. Although 12 episodes is usually pretty generous for a shoujo anime and pretty reasonable, I feel like they crammed in enough stuff for at least 24 episodes. Although I wouldn't call it brief, I would call it fast-paced and a little congested. It really felt like they were trying to ram me with the field train around episode 5, which felt a little flat to me. Like, they hadn't really gone into much depth at that point, and I just met the characters. Like, don't ask me to make an emotional commitment to you if I've only known you for 5 episodes or something, or 5 days, or 5 hours. Just don't look for it from me. It's not gonna happen. It's like being told I love you after, like, the 1st date. It's not, no. Not cool. Too soon, bro. Too soon. It made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, actually. I feel like there was so much potential for extra comedy in the series, but it was just missed, and a lot of the jokes fell flat. But having said that, overall I still enjoyed it, because it was still funny and still enjoyable, and there was still the whole, you know, boob thing that happens in shoujo anime for some reason. Like, to put into context, it's all a bit like bam, bam, bam with the information, and they didn't really build up enough chemistry between the 2 characters. So before watching this anime, I didn't actually read up on it at all, because I didn't want to spoil it or anything. I'd heard a lot about it, like on Crunchyroll and blah 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 blah. So when I started watching it and I found out that Nike had rain powers, I was like, that was not what I was expecting. Although in hindsight, I probably should have thought about it a little bit, but I was just like, why? You know, now thinking back on it, it did add a little extra something to the story though, which was good, and that's what it needed. If she didn't have rain powers, the entire thing would have just been typical shoujo anime, which is a bit So, you know, just like sometimes you want to watch Love Actually for like the 43rd time, even though you know what happens, you know all the jokes, but you just watch it because it makes you feel good. And this anime was the same. You don't have to use too much brain power to enjoy the anime for what it is, which I appreciate. It's nice. So I know I've been criticizing this anime a lot in this video, but you know, I'm just trying to be real with you. But having said that, the authenticity between Nike and Livius kept me coming back to this anime more than anything. They're just perfect together. Like if you watch Asian dramas, for example, Hana Yori Dango, the 2 leads are so opposite from each other, but they complement each other so well. The same with both of this anime. Nike was energetic and independent whilst incredibly stubborn, whereas Livius was, you know, intelligent and completely capable, but kind of broken and impulsive like the child he was. Neil was also a fantastic character, and he didn't receive much airtime for reasons that are beyond me. They could have done so much with their character, but I don't know, I'm assuming it's because they're trying to cram so much into like that short space of time that he just didn't get enough airtime, but they could have done so much with him. I was really annoyed. The animation style was good, not great, it was okay. Nike was beautiful, I loved her character design, I loved her eyes. She's a beautifully designed character, so kudos to them. And I really liked how she could like fend for herself as well, and she wasn't one of those damsel in distress kind of protagonists. Now, Livius's character looked so much like Seal from Black Butler, it's insane. Like, Google it right now, put them side by side, they look almost identical, and likewise, there was a character that looked like Elizabeth from Black Butler in this anime, and it was just the biggest rip-off ever. It was like, damn son! Damn it! And just how old are these 2 anyway? Like, I'm going the assumption that Livius is like 12 and Nike is like 16, 18-ish. and the fact that they never specified that for me is really grating at me. The music in this anime though was gorgeous. Tender Rain was good, but it got a little bit annoying, but I was okay with it because they changed it up a little bit every time, which was okay. But when I was in Japan, actually, every time I saw the rain, I was just like, "You're just tender rain," like really badly and loudly, and everyone looked at me weird. But it was good! The opening didn't really stick out to me too much. I mean, it wasn't bad by any stretch of the word, but you know, it was just kind of whatever. It did really set up the rest of the anime well, so I was okay with that, and the closing was absolutely gorgeous. I loved that. But no one pays as much attention to the closing. Anyway, so that's all I've written down, so I'm assuming that's the end of this video. Like and favourite if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want more, and tell me in the comments, have you watched this anime? Would you watch this anime? What do you think of this genre, honestly? And am I crazy for thinking the character design looks identical to Black Butler in a lot of ways? Validate me. That's what I'm saying, validate me. On another note, I've been receiving quite a few messages on Facebook actually from you guys asking me about Japan and requesting some anime for me to review, and one person from Iceland, I think, asked me to review Attack on Titan, which I've watched. I can't remember, but I've watched it. Like, I just can't remember the details that would allow me to review, so I've got to rewatch that. And Code Geass was another one. I think there are a few more. But yeah, thanks for that. So that will be coming up in future at some point when I have time. But for now, enjoy the Japan videos, and I'm thinking of making a bit of a survival guide for you guys since you've been asking me for that. And you guys have also been asking me what like key differences that I saw between Australia and Japan, so I'll do that too. I've said it now, so you can hold me to it. But yeah, if you have any more anime that you want me to review, leave me in the comments below. And that is the end. That is the end. That is the end. Goodbye! And thanks for messaging me.